Hi, I'm Joshua Alexander, mental health freedom fighter, and I wanted to talk about something very important today for brain health, mental health, and healing mental illness symptoms, okay? And this is the distinction between brain betrayer foods, brain filler foods, and brain cell foods, okay? This information is directly from the Medical Meaning Brain Saver books, Brain Saver and Brain Saver Protocols. The links are in the description. But it's critical to know, as someone who's healed mental illness now for over 11 years, and someone who's tried all the different trends in health for decades, conventional and alternative, gone to clinics around the country, I've seen a lot, I've experienced a lot, I've been harmed a lot by the trends, and I learned the information about how the body actually works and what the brain actually needs. Okay, so the Brain Saver books are critical for anyone struggling with mental illness symptoms or mental health challenges, critical to have in your resource library, your reference library. They're so important to read through, start learning about what's causing the symptoms, how to actually heal, start implementing the tools. So best health books ever written of all time. And you can take that all the way home. So brain betrayer foods are foods that are actually causing harm to the brain, okay? That are not helping the brain, that are betraying the brain, creating problems for the brain, right? So you got some foods like foods that'll feed the pathogens, right? Eggs, dairy, gluten. These are foods that feed viruses. Viruses excrete neurotoxins that then land on nerves and can even get into the brain and create problems, create health symptoms, right? So they're creating damage for the brain cells. They're contributing to the symptoms, causing the symptoms and worsening the symptoms, right? So those are foods that have got to go as part of the healing process. Other brain betrayer foods are caffeine. I know people get upset about this, right? Coffee and chocolate, matcha tea, green tea, right? All the things that everyone's recommending in the health trends and everyone's doing, right? Caffeine is damaging to brain cells. It's damaging to brain cells. It puts them in a fight or flight response. It forces the body to excrete adrenaline, which is actually caustic to the body as well. So it demineralizes us, it dehydrates us, it depletes us of nutrients, it burns out our antioxidants, it creates a host of problems. And a lot of people are running on caffeine. The people on the high-fat trend trains, they're all dependent on caffeine. They can't function without caffeine because they're not getting enough glucose to their brain, so they're actually relying on caffeine to get through the day. So it's a brain betrayer food. It's going to cause problems for the brain over time. Another one, alcohol. Obviously, we know this. Let's see what else here. Let's take a look. Bone broth, right? People are on the bone broth kick, right? I know people love their bone broth. It's just not giving us what the brain needs. It's not healthy. The vinegar that's used to make bone broth creates acidity that demineralizes the body, and it's not healthy. It's not a healthy thing. It betrays the brain, creates problems. Vinegar mixes with salt and actually ferments pickles. Pickles are organs, like our liver, okay? Not a good thing. So these are basically food items that are popularly recommended, like kombucha, right? Everyone thinks kombucha is healthy. I tried kombucha. Thankfully, I didn't really like it, so I didn't drink it that much. But again, that's just a theory that's funded by the kombucha industry. And basically, fermented foods are the type of bacteria in fermented foods are the bacteria that feed on death. Okay, so they're not actually the type of bacteria that helps us, that our body needs, that our intestinal tract uses. They're basically waste matter, and they make our body acidic, and which isn't good. So there's a lot of other foods on this list. I suggest going to the Brain Saver books and learning about this, because having these foods in our diet daily, which a lot of these are trendy items, is going to diminish our health over time, diminish our mental health over time, and burn out our neurotransmitter chemicals, right? For mental illness symptoms, we need healthy neurotransmitters, which are made from trace minerals in fruits and vegetables, herbs, leafy greens, wild foods, right? And a lot of these foods like caffeine are going to burn out our neurotransmitter chemicals and going to create long-term kind of deficiencies and problems. So the other category is brain filler foods, like filler foods basically. Filler foods are items that are not necessarily going to be harmful to us, but that just take up space so that we can't get other nutrients that we need to heal, right? So gluten-free grains, for example, if someone can do okay on gluten-free grains, they're a filler food. They don't have a lot of nutrients. They don't have a lot of, antiviral properties. They don't have that nutrient density, the antioxidant density that we need, but they're not necessarily going to feed the viruses. And if someone's not sensitive to grains, not really create problems. So another example of filler foods would be meat, right? So like beef, chicken, right? Salmon. So these are foods that don't really feed viruses, but they take up a lot of room and they don't have a lot of vitamins and minerals and nutrients. So they're basically not allowing us to have space in our stomach to get enough of the foods that we actually need to heal in today's world. With the level of toxicity that people have, the level of acidity that people have, how dehydrated and demineralized and deficient nutrients people are, filler foods in our diet just aren't going to allow enough room to heal. So it's okay to have some once in a while for calories, or financially, if we're relying on something like that, like some gluten-free grain or something, it's okay. But we have to, depending on how sick we are, we have to be getting ample amounts of the healing foods, okay? So the brain cell foods are the next category. Brain cell foods are foods that are actually going to nurture and heal our brain cells, that are going to provide what they need to function, to heal damage, right? So the brain cell foods, for example, are antiviral herbs, right? So lemon balm, cilantro, it's a leafy green herb, right? These are foods that are going to be antiviral, so they're going to take down the viruses that are making us sick, and they're going to be providing nutrients, the phytochemical compounds that we need, the antiviral compounds, right? Leafy greens, fruits of all edible fruits, right? They have the high antioxidant content that's going to repair damaged tissue and brain cell damage, like wild blueberries, one of the most healing foods on the planet, probably the most healing food on the planet. Literally pulls toxic heavy metals out of the brain and repairs damage in the brain cells as it's doing it. It's a miracle food. It's the resurrection food. You could literally burn down wild blueberry bushes and they'll just grow back stronger. It's critical for healing mental illness symptoms. So, leafy greens, I think I said that. Potatoes. Potatoes are antiviral. They got L-lysine, healthy source of glucose, right? Critical clean carbohydrate that our brain cells need to function, because our brains run on sugar. Every cell in our brain runs on sugar, and we need those healthy sources, right? Banana is an incredible healing food, provides glucose for the body. It's our liver's favorite food, right? It's very antiviral. You could actually put, banana is the only thing that if you put banana in a petri dish with the HIV virus, it literally will kill it. It's the only thing that will actually kill that in a petri dish, because it's antiviral. It's very, very healthy. I know there's been a campaign against bananas. I actually witnessed it many years ago. I went to chiropractic school for a little while back in like 2005, and I went to some conferences, and I was witness to some of the birth of some of these health trends when they were trying to take down fruit, the birth of the take down fruit movement. And I believe at one of the conferences I actually witnessed someone throw a banana against a wall, because they're basically trying to blame chronic illness on like things because they don't know what's causing the symptoms. So they're just kind of make stuff up and like throw a banana at a wall for sensationalism and start taking down the things that actually heal us. It's insanity. But that's what's been going on for decades, and we can't get sucked into that stupidity. It's just it's gonna hurt us if we're keeping out potatoes because it's a white food or because it's a nightshade or any other cockamamie theory that someone has, or we're keeping out bananas or fruit because it has so much sugar in it, even though the body runs on sugar. It's going to hurt us over time. So we want to be careful not to get sucked into trends that are not based on anything real, that are not based on knowing what's causing the symptoms, right? It's very critical for mental health to get ample amounts of glucose. Our nervous system needs a lot of glucose. It's the glycogen storage in our brain that helps us get through difficult challenges and stress, right? When we're under stress, we need glucose to deal with the stress. It actually cools down brain heat. So when we're starting to get emotionally react, or people like in mania and stuff, like the brain's overheating, or from trauma or stress or whatnot, glucose actually helps cool down the brain and provide critical fuel so that we can actually get through those stressful situations. So we want to be getting more and more of the brain cell foods in, and obviously be taking out the brain repair foods and limiting the filler foods. And that's the way to heal. You have to know what's causing the symptoms to heal. You have to know what's causing the symptoms and what to do about it. And that's the only way. There's no way to cheat your way to health. There's no magic pill. There's no trendy health hack. It requires knowing the real information, applying it diligently and consistently over time, and healing the causes, and getting all the way out of the illness and being free from it, and being free from all the craziness in the industry, all the trends. That's a wonderful thing too. It's great being free from the illness, and it's also great being free from being lost in the trends, because that really sucked, I can tell you. It was miserable. I was in that garbage for over a decade, and it wasn't fun. So it's much better having real answers and knowing what to do, and then actually getting results and healing and moving on. So being able to live your life. So check out the Brain Saver books. They're literally the best books ever. Your mind will be blown. If you've ever read any health books before, there's nothing like these. Your mind will literally be blown. You won't. It's going to be a great thing. You're going to be amazed at how wonderful, how much information is in these books. So happy healing. I wish you the best. God bless you.